Let's see. See who shows up. So yeah, this is a topic that's kind of an off topic for my channel, but something um, I'm really, I'm really big on this, and I haven't ever mentioned it before. So as soon as a couple of y'all show up, we'll start talking about it. But so that you guys know, right to repair is legislation that is mostly for the wireless industry, like cell phones, laptops, electronics. Let's see. Let's see if this one's getting squelched. But I'll just talk about it if no one shows up. Right to repair legislation is something that they've been trying to pass for a while, and it really is a burr under the saddle for a lot of big companies like Apple and things like that. And so as soon as somebody shows up, but anyway, so a lot of you guys know I'm a fan of Apple products. I have Apple Watch, iPhone. I got an Apple. I have a MacBook Pro that my mother got for me. I like their products, but I don't necessarily always like their business. How should I say this? I don't necessarily like their business tactics so much. Okay, who's here? Who's this? But at any rate, it's not just Apple. So I'm not going to just say it's Apple. There's a lot of companies out there that really make it prohibitive for you to repair anything. And it goes to this planned obsolescence thing that I fucking get so upset about. This refrigerator we bought has lasted really well, but the fact is it's starting to have problems, and it's having problems that are consistent with what I would expect something much, much older to be having. And the fact is, it's out of warranty, and it's beyond the point where I can order parts for it. So they do this, and by the time you get the parts for it, everything on this is going to be so expensive, it would just be cheaper. It would be cheaper in the long run for me just to buy a new product, because the company that manufactures this doesn't make any money when you repair things. So it's part of that planned obsolescence. It's a bunch of bullshit. We have a 1942 tractor on our farm, and we've used it since 1945 when my grandfather bought it in 1947. He bought it used. And so, you know, if that continues to work, why am I replacing a car, and why are people replacing new tractors? It's because it's designed to fail. So I've only got one person here. This isn't going to be a very long video unless you guys start chiming in on this, if there's more than one person here. But this planned obsolescence is something that companies do to make sure it's to make sure that they make money. Apple is famous for, if you take a piece of equipment to the Genius Bar, they're going to look at it and they're going to, oh, we have to replace this entire board and we have to do this. And they're supposed to be the experts. But if you go to places like Rossmann Group, Louis Rossmann's website, what was the other one? There's an iPod place that's running upstate New York that there's a lady up there that Apple tells you, oh, we can't recover your data. If you drop your phone in the water, we can't recover your data. You just got to get a new phone and you lost all that. If it's not updated to the cloud, it's gone. And she's proven that, yeah, no, you can do it. You can do it. She does data recovery. Louis Rossmann does data recovery. And the thing is, they don't want you to have the components. And so now it's gotten to a point where Apple has gotten to a point where they will take components and they will log them to that item. And if you try to replace it, now your phone won't work. But that was the first one. If you replace let me grab my phone. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hey, Mike, you're a big dummy. I'm talking to y'all on my phone. Luckily, I have my daughter's phone here. She didn't take it to school with her. This fingerprint reader. Now, they came out and they fixed it. But this fingerprint reader, if you replaced it, it would brick your phone, because it would, oh, that's not, even if it came out of a brand new iPhone that had been bought just for parts for repairs, it wouldn't work. Even if it was an authorized Apple product, an authorized Apple OEM thing, you put it in, it wouldn't work. So now what they've done is you can buy actual Apple products from their manufacturers. But if you don't buy it directly from them, if it doesn't have the right source code and stuff on it, if it's not chipped exactly the right way, it won't work. Do you remember when they came out with the lightning cords? You couldn't buy, there's a chip in that and it won't read it. If you buy a cord, your phone will say, it used to just not work. Now it says this device may not be supported. It'll charge, but it doesn't charge near as fast. It throttles itself because they don't want you to use anybody else's products. And so these repair places are having a real hard time. If you watch Louis Rossmann, I noticed somebody commented on this. I was about to ask if this was Louis related. 100% encourage people back to source. Yes, yes. Not just Louis. I've been following this for a long time. AVE, Bolter AVE, does this. Like he's like, own your shit. Everything he buys, he takes apart. And what they've done is they've hobbled us with extended warranty programs and things like that, where no, you're not allowed to work on it. You know, my grandfather fixed the refrigerator and put belts and shit in this old Frigidaire refrigerator we had for years and years and years. I fixed our vacuum cleaner 3 or 4 times. They don't want you to do that. They want you to, oh, fuck, oh, it's got a sticker on it. I got to send it in. And then they're going to tell you it's going to be like $600-800. It's going to be $600-800 for this part, and it's going to be like $600-800 for labor. It would actually just, in the long run, sir, it would be cheaper for you just to buy a newer model that you'd be happier with. You know why? They don't fucking make money on repairs, especially if they know that there's companies like Rossmann Group that can replace individual components. If you go to the Apple store, they're going to tell you that you have to replace the entire board. That's what they're going to tell you. You got to replace this entire logic board, or you got to replace this entire motherboard, or you got to replace this entire assembly. No, you don't. Watch Lewis's channel and you will see him replace individual components at a fraction of the price. I've seen him do repairs for free because they took him so quick. He's like, he took it apart. You know what? I'm not even gonna charge him. I can't. It's just not enough work for me to even charge him. They already paid shipping. They already paid this. It was a fucking 75-cent piece that I soldered in. I've seen him do repairs for free on his channel. And so as much as I may like products, I love Apple products. You know why? They're simple. They're easy. They're one stop. I can do stuff on my phone that I could not do on another platform. There's things that I personally, not saying that you can't do them on Android, I personally love the OS, the operating system for Apple. I would not go back to a PC. I will not. I have a PC upstairs. I hate using it. I hate the way it fucking changes and the way stuff is fucking always formatted different. And there's always these mandatory updates. I hate Microsoft. I fucking hate it. Sometimes it's necessary evil because I have Microsoft products on all of our Macs. I have Word, Outlook, I can't remember what PowerPoint. I have all of them on there. But in general, I wouldn't buy Windows, period. I fucking hate Windows, especially the new Windows with Cortana, and you can't ever find anything, and every 3 weeks something changes and fucking shit gets moved around, and I can't even find settings on that fucking computer. But it's a faster operating system and things like this. So yes, I love the Apple operating system and their quality products. But when something goes wrong, I will tell you, I would never take that new MacBook that my mom got me. I would never take it to the Genius Bar after it's out of warranty. I did not buy the extended warranty. I did not buy Apple Care because I know that it's just better for me to go to a third party, repair to get stuff done. My daughter's phone, the battery it wouldn't hold a charge for more than like 15, 20 minutes before you just see it start dropping. It got real hot. Battery replaced, the screen was cracked, put a screen in it, $80. That's an iPhone 6S. If I take that to the Apple store, they're gonna be like, oh, well, we can't do the battery and this, and we can't do that, and we have, this, and we can only do that. No. I took it to third-party vendor. I would not, as much as I like their customer service is good, their people are always helpful, you talk to them on the phone, they're great, till you need a repair. No way I would ever take my phone to the actual Genius Bar for repair, unless it was still under warranty. So I think the MacBooks, the refurbished MacBooks come with like a 1-year warranty. It's part of their refurb program, so that's what I have. My daughter has one. Stuff like that. So, but that doesn't just go, I'm not just talking, this isn't electronics. Microtech, as much as I like Jason McCoy and Jake McCoy and and all the folks there, and Corey and Anthony Marfione, who is, as much as you guys would hate, as much as a lot of people would hate to agree, he's a polarizing individual. Every time I've talked to him, he's been great. He's been a great guy. He really has. And so all of that, but the fact is, if you take your Microtech knife apart, even to oil it, you voided your warranty. You take it apart to clean it because you got grit and gunk down in it, you voided your warranty. So I would ask you, with all these fucking, you voided your warranty and this and that, and you're not allowed to do this, and you can't get the parts, and you got proprietary screws and screwdrivers, do you really own what you bought? Or do they own it and they just let you have it for a while for a small fee? I'm just curious what you guys' take on it is. I got news for you. I take everything. I will take anything I want apart. I've had my PlayStation 4 apart and cleaned it. Everybody's like, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. You guys say, fuck them. I bought this. This is mine. I've had my PS3, my PS4, my PS2, my PS1. I've had them apart and cleaned them. Guess what? I didn't fuck them up and they work fine. I own them. I've had this refrigerator out and took the back off of it and done a lot of shit on this refrigerator that I probably shouldn't have fucking done. Because I still think that I own my own shit. I fixed my last coffee pot. No, I didn't. I was gonna fix it. I was like, wait a second, you're an idiot. That's a brand new fucking coffee pot. I took it apart, I knew what it was, but when I looked up the part, that's the other thing. They will price parts. This coffee pot cost me $20. The old coffee pot cost me like $35. Do you know what the piece that I needed? No, I don't. No, I don't. I was a technician. I know how to take things apart and put them back together. I might joke about that, but the parts to repair this the old coffee pot cost more than the new coffee pot did. They don't want you to buy third-party equipment. Louis Rossmann says it. Like the little capacitors and stuff that are in that board, they're like fucking 75 cents a piece. If something goes bad in that, it's never going to be a fuse. He prove it to you, show you. It's never going to be a fuse. It's going to be capacitor, resistor, something like that. One of those caps, one of those resistors, something that is not expensive. And if they were to be truthful about it, like, no, we have to do it, the whole motherboard's got to come out, or the whole logic board, or the whole LCD, fucking light supply, fucking power supply, all that shit. It's not true. It's not true. And I didn't figure this would be a big thing. But what do you guys think about it? I mean, like, seriously, what do you guys think about, like, right to repair? Because the thing is, like, I look at it, like, I tinker with knives. I take knives and stuff apart. Now, the only knife I have here on the counter, because I'm literally still in my pajamas, is this McStrider. Would I take this apart? No. No, not right now, I wouldn't. This McStrider Custom that I got at the show, guys, this is gonna be big. I don't think I'm gonna get a chance to shoot this video before I go to Portland. That's the other thing. I'm gonna go to Portland tomorrow. I leave for Portland tomorrow morning. So I'm packing. But taking this apart, oh, my wife's home. But taking this apart, I wouldn't worry about taking this apart. They have these companies through extended warranties and proprietary design stuff. Like Louis will tell you, like, he said it, like, oh, they said that they don't want you to have this because then their circuit board layout is laid out. And he goes, and he said it, I think he said it in a video. It's all a matter of, they just want it to take you longer. He can do the same thing. He can map that circuit board, figure out where the problem is, figure out what it is and what it does, and make sure that he's got, even if he doesn't have the software, he just reverse backtracks it. But the fact is, it's no different. If you take that apart, you're gonna see the layout and configuration of that board. The software that he uses that lays it out, that you can type in and see what each component does and the voltage and things, that's you know, how is that any different than him taking it apart and figuring it out on his own? It's not. And as a matter of fact, the guy that provided the software did that. So and I'm not gonna agree with you on that. Proprietary is not bullshit. Open source is not everything. Open source is not the way to go. But the way to do it is you provide that information on your website. Add a fee to it. You know, companies will buy it. Repair companies will buy it. I'm not saying that the companies are not right or not that are wrong trying to protect their profit margins, but they've gone too far and to the point where now you don't own you don't own anything. You don't own anything. Back in the day when you would take something apart, I think Lewis might have said in a video, when you would take something apart, there was a schematic in the back, told you exactly where your fuses, all that shit was, so that you could repair it as the owner. Because they knew they didn't make money on repairs. They made money on their good name of having quality products that lasted. And then when you would get ready to buy a new one, there's always new families, always people wanting new stuff. People still want to upgrade. You don't have to force them and pigeonhole them into this planned obsolescence just because you want more money for your company. People are going to buy stuff, period. I don't like that color. I'll buy a new one. Oh, I painted the kitchen. I got to do this. But open source is the way to go. That's never going to happen. That's never going to work because companies have enough lobbyists and things like that. You have to make it enticing enough for the company and good enough deal for the third parties. That's the only way to do it. Because those companies, Apple has more money than the entire United States government, period, hands down. They have more free capital than the United States government. What makes you think that they would allow the government to do it? What you have to do is you have to entice these companies to keep their customers happy because that's what they want. They want happy customers. Which one? The black one with all the holes in it? No, that's my shop one. Sorry. But that sweatshirt does though. The navy one that's sitting here. Anyway, so no, so, you know, you have to find a way to find a line where, okay, here's the deal. We will provide you with software. We will provide you an avenue to purchase the repair equipment, such as capacitors and screens and things like that. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to pay us for it. You have to make it enticing enough that the company is not going to fucking, because I guarantee, I'm telling you right now, companies that have that much money have more sway with the government than lobbyists from any other fucking avenue, than senators, than congressmen, because guess what? That company has more money than the fucking United States government. What makes you think that we'd be able to do it? But what you have to do is you have to find a way to find that fine line. And that legislation that says they have to allow it is a start. After that, the companies will work out a way that, okay, I mean, I'm sure that they're going to try and find a way to just to price it out of the market. But the fact is, if the legislation goes through, right to repair, that means that if you order parts for an Apple Watch from Foxconn at the price that Foxconn wants to sell it, customs can't stop you. That's what they've done, is they have just made it impossible for you to get things through customs. You can still buy the parts for an Apple Watch or a Mac or that, but what you can't do is they bring it in. Even if you bought it directly from the company that makes it for Apple, when it comes in, they flag it as counterfeit. That's where that needs to stop. That's the big one right there. That's how, once you get that legislation, then it opens up the avenues for third-party companies to get the actual repair parts to actually do the jobs. So this wasn't meant to be a big diatribe. I just get so frustrated with it. And I was watching it wasn't a Rossman Group video. It wasn't Louis Rossman. It was somebody else. But I mean, basically, without that, you don't own anything in your house. I don't. Now, I mean, there are some. I'm not talking about open source hardware. I'm talking about the companies that make it for Apple, selling it to you. All we need to do is the right to repair legislation makes it so that the companies, that the third-party companies, don't get their shit caught up at customs saying it's a counterfeit, even if it is. It allows them that avenue to purchase those items so they can do the repairs. You know what I mean? As opposed to having to buy a bunch of junk Apple MacBooks and trying to hope that the parts you need on it are still viable. So what was somebody said here? Keep possible sense fine, but I hate when they exploit the custom system. That's what I see. So, I mean, like, I can buy this, and I will turn this back around to a knife thing. If you let me get my cup of coffee momentarily, I'll just give me a second. Now, before everybody gets bent out of shape when I say it, the Hoback rolling detent, that's bullshit. Jake Hoback did not design that. And I'll tell you why. Because you can buy the parts for that off the shelf. It was an already existing item. You can buy the set screw with the pocket for a roller bearing. He's just the first person that put him in a knife. And then he went around and tried to charge people for that. Now, I will say though that the Hinderer stop that you had to mention Rick in for the over travel stop on a lock bar. Now that was something that he made and put in and was one of the first people to do it. Now there's other ways of doing it, but the one like the button looking one that Hinderer had, yep, by all rights. If you use that, you should give that man credit. But that Hoback rolling detent, come on, bro. You bought a set screw with a pocket and you put a bearing in it like it was designed. That's kind of a dick move. So, you know, that's one of those ones. Like that, oh, that's proprietary. Well, that's like Apple trying to say, oh, this circuit board stuff, these components on the circuit board proprietary. No, they're not. They are the exact same components with the exception of some of the chips. Like the components, it's the same components that's in that phone and that Android phone and in your TV and shit like that. So I'm not gonna get back into it. You probably have to join in, but the fact is though, there's a company that is lobbying for, no, that intrudes on a company's rights. We have to preserve their profit margins because they work hard. I want to go back to it. Apple has more money than the United States government. I don't think they're hurting. People will still buy their products. People have this brand loyalty that I've talked about it before. I don't have the brand loyalty. I just like the products. Not necessarily the products per se, as the way they operate and the interface. I love the speed of iOS. I love the speed of the OS X on a Mac, the Mac OS. I love all that. What's up, Nathaniel or Nathan? But it's not like I have a brand loyalty. Like, don't you talk bad about Apple? Be like that dude crying, talking about Britney Spears. Leave her alone. Not like that. I just happen to like their products. You're not gonna see me fucking going like, Apple needs to make more money. No, that's not it. That's not what this is about. This is about the fact when I buy something, I fucking own it. If I want to take somebody to fix it, I take it to whoever fuck I want. I don't, you know, it's just irritating. This is irritating that this is even a thing these days. Like I said, for years, we fixed everything on a farm. My grandfather had a compressor my grandfather had an air compressor that he got when he got it for Christmas. I would have been 7. It was a gift from, I think, my mom and dad and my aunt all got together and bought that man a little roll-away air compressor for him to use in the garage. And he fixed that thing and repaired it, put new rings in it, put new seals in it. So many times. You can't do that now. You buy a compressor now, it breaks and you're screwed. You can't buy replacement parts and shit for it. And if you do, they're like, oh, you took it apart. It's unsafe. We can't warranty it anymore. I had the reason I took my PlayStation apart, the first time I ever took a PlayStation apart was because I got mad because it had gotten, I had it on a ship and it had gotten slammed into something and the little void, the warranty seal over one of the little areas had gotten like ripped loose. And they're like, oh, no, it's, you took this apart. I was like, I did not take it apart. I haven't had, it's like, you peeled that sticker off. I was like, no, that sticker got ripped. It got, and so I said, fuck it, and took it apart myself. And I figured out what was wrong. It was a little spring that had come disconnected inside so that the laser wasn't moving. It was a little clip that connected it to to the rail. I fixed it, but I never worried about it again. Like I said, I've had, the only thing I haven't had apart is this phone and that computer and that Mac right there. I take everything apart. I had to back off the TV here not too long ago because it sounded fun. It was making a hum. It's filthy inside, filthy. I took that 62-inch Sony TV apart. I will say you gotta be careful doing that. There's a power supply in there, and I did get a bite. I did. Oh God, damn, that's got a capacitor in it. It's the second time I ever got shocked with a TV. But no, it's right to repair is something that I feel is every bit as important to you as a consumer as knife rights is to the knife community. I don't know if you guys saw it. Doug Ritter and I talked. Well, we talked for about 5 minutes before, and then filmed a segment. Doug's a good guy, and like I've been trying to get him pinned down at a knife show for 2 years now for knife rights. So like I said, they're like NRA for us knife guys. But it's just, it's ridiculous to think that these companies have so much power that they are crushing other people out of business. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. If anything, what would make them look better in the eyes of the entire world? Okay, go to mama. What would make them better in the eyes of the whole world is if Apple was like, no, look, you can go get your stuff done at a third party, and then allow them to be certified, but not be certified in a way like Apple does, where, oh, nope, you're only allowed to fix these items. And then you have to tell them the same thing, the stock stuff that we always tell them, which is, yeah, you got to replace the whole logic board, or you got to replace this, or you got to replace that. Allow them to do their shit, but make them be certified so that if you do go someplace, you have something like Apple allows this guy to do it and do everything. Didn't Apple just open up third-party repairs? No, I don't believe so, because that's a bunch of money they're gonna be losing, because that's how they get you to buy new stuff. Like my wife's Mac lasted us, how long did the last computer last, Yuka? 8 years? That Mac lasted 8 years. It was an off-schedule item. When I took it, I asked everybody about it. Like, nope, I can't get parts for repair. All the Apple places, like, nope, we have a certified place here. And when I talked to him, he's like, I can't do anything more for you than I would at the Apple store. That's off. That's a past legacy item, and so I can't do anything. But I'm not allowed. I'm a certified Apple repair. I can't do anything like that. So they make it sound like you can. Oh, these are certified Apple repair places, but they're not going to do anything for you that they wouldn't do. They have limits. They're like, you're allowed to go to here, and then you got to fucking stop. Pay part off Alibaba, and they fail. Yeah. That's why, like I said, if I ever run into a problem with any, and I told my mother this, it's like, you ever have a problem, you spill something on your computer, you fucking shake that thing out, turn it off, you don't turn it back on, and I will give you Louis Rossman's email address so that you can set up a shipment to him for a repair. Because if you spilled water or Coke or something in that, just turn it off, because it has to go in. And there's only a couple places that I really would trust. There's a place actually out here in California, but when I talked to them about, so they were like, no, we're right now, we're not taking anything Apple. If you have like another computer, like a ThinkBook or something like that, yeah, we'll do those. But right now, they're not doing any Apple products because of they basically are afraid of getting a cease and desist order. Because Apple has been known to do that to repair companies. But yeah, I mean, I told her, I was like, we'll just send it to Louis Rossman. If you spill something in that, it's got to go in, and he'd be my first bet. Like, I watch a lot of his videos, and I'm not even a computer guy. He's funny. But I 100% agree with that right to repair legislation. And if it doesn't pass, it's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep tearing my shit apart. But there's times where proprietary does protect the company, especially if it's like a new product and you're trying not to get out. But at this point, there's really nothing new between that iPhone 8 and this iPhone 6S. except maybe a chipset. I mean, really, at this point, there's so many people that are good at it. Saying that it's proprietary, that's not gonna stop people. People tear those phones apart and they map the circuit boards and stuff like that. There's a guy in Australia that does that and then writes the software for repair companies. It doesn't stop anyone. Short of making that completely sealed, that it's a one-piece unit, like an integral design, and you can't do anything, like you can't unless you cut it apart. Short of doing that, there's no way they're gonna stop people from repairing things. People are gonna find out how it works and what the circuits look like and what the layout is, and they're gonna map their own schematics, and they're still gonna start repairing things. So why not just do the legislation and say, okay, you guys have gotta stop. You guys have gotta stop impeding these companies that are doing good work and doing things for the consumer. You know, if that computer breaks, I can't drop $1,000 on another computer. I really couldn't drop any money on this, but I knew I could put it on the channel and then I'd be able to turn it around and I'm not gonna lie, I'm selling it for a profit. I am gonna sell that knife for a profit because table prices are much lower than dealer prices, but I'm gonna sell that for a profit. I'm not lying to you. I'm not gonna hold that back. Tell you, if you guys are interested in that Strider, you're not paying what I paid. You're gonna pay more. But like I said, I'm not trying to rape my subscribers. So when I do a video about that, the second that video goes up, it's basically whoever wants it gets it. It's gonna be up for sale. I get that companies have to make money, but when you're making so much money, you know, I can't, like I said, I can't afford to fix that Mac if it breaks, because when I take it to Apple, they're gonna tell me it's a logic board or a light supply or an entire, and they're like, well, we have to replace the whole screen and this and that, when you really don't. And that's where it gets ugly, is when they're lying. And they're lying, like you can see it in Lewis's videos. He'll show you, it's like, they said they have to do this. If these guys are really that good at their repair at the Genius Bar, then they should be able to do what he does, repair that, and provide a cheap option to the customer. I mean, is it gonna be expensive? Yeah, but I guarantee if I fucking send that, if something happens to that MacBook and I send it to Lewis Rossman in New York, it's still gonna be much cheaper in the long run than if I bought it at, and that's the other one that he says, if you buy, my daughter has a MacBook Air that my grandmother bought, that her grandmother bought her, and I have a MacBook Pro that my mother bought me after she bought that one, when she realized that, you know, I was asking my daughter if I could borrow it just for the show, because I have a computer. And I was like, oh, my mom, I was like, I don't need a laptop, I got a computer. She's like, I would like to get to, I was like, no, I don't need one. Then I realized it would be great for these shows when I'm away from home, like this coming weekend, to have a Mac. But my computer is a step up above hers, but if I want to have the reliability built into it, it doesn't come that way. That computer that I have is no more reliable than the computer my daughter has. And for the up price, you would think it would be, but it's not. So for you to be able to have that reliability, it doesn't come built in. You gotta pay extra. I have to pay Apple for Apple Care, which I did not do, because I have no intention of taking that outside. Once it's outside of warranty, I have no intention of taking that to the Apple store. Something goes wrong with it, it gets put in a box and it goes to New York to Lewis Rossman, because I know he can fix it way cheaper than the Apple store. It just gets frustrating. And you see that everywhere. Oh, well, I'll sell you this, but it's only got a 30-day warranty. If you would like to make it a 1-year warranty, this is what you gotta pay. You gotta pay for this, you gotta pay for this, you gotta pay for this. I remember buying stuff that have 5-year warranty. Do you guys remember back in the day, we'd buy stuff and it was warranted for 5 years? 5. That refrigerator came with a 1-year warranty. Nothing broke in the first year. You know when it did broke? You know what? The fucking ice maker broke second year. And then it broke again. And then it broke again. And only the first time I saw what the guy did, I fixed it the second time and the third time. And here's the thing, I don't have a problem with companies making money. Like I said, I like Apple products, I buy Apple products. Mainly because I like the way they operate, not so much the design. It's not a design aesthetic, it's not this. It's the easy use and the operating system and the fact that it is a more reliable, stable operating system. I've never had a crash on any of my Macs that was like a system ending, like, oh God, I lost all my data. It's fucking done. Never had that issue. I've had applications crash. I've had things freeze up where I restarted, like a minor crash, and it'll come up with a crash log, but very, very rarely. Not like my PC. That PC it was brand new when it came to me. It was left to me by a friend that passed away. It was brand new. He'd only been using it for like maybe 3 months. That fucking thing crashes at least once a week. Once a week, like hard crash. Like, fuck. I have a backup on it. There's a 500 gigabyte hard drive up there that's there for that. But, you know, it crashes constantly. And I don't mean like an app crashed. I mean like the entire fucking thing. Fucking, and then blue screen, and then it restarts. I'm like, what in the actual fuck? And it's always, and then the mandatory updates that you come up, and then they make you change your password every fucking like 60 days and shit now with some of the Apple, or with the Mac product, not Mac, the Microsoft products. And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. I don't even like going up to my office and using that computer. The computer's fast for some things. It's great on the internet. Fucking hot trash. I have a laptop now that is exactly the way I would want it. It's got all the stuff. I can set it up the way I want, and I don't have to be constrained to, oh, you can't change this on this. But I do not like if I had a really powerful PC, I'd find a way to run fucking Mac OS on it. I would. I wish I could find a way to run Mac OS on the one upstairs. I think it would be a more reliable platform. That computer, here's the other thing. Apple does make decent products. I've never had a phone that I immediately had to replace, except for this one. It did have an issue. But like I said, we used my wife's last Mac I'm not tech savvy enough to do it. My wife's last Mac we used for 8 or 9 years. 8 or 9 years. In that time, I had 3 PCs. 3. I went through 3 PCs that no one could fix. Nope, it's just done. So, I mean, I'm thinking about that, but it's not free. Hackintosh is not free. I know I've looked, but I mean, but like I said, the computer didn't fucking, and as a matter of fact, my mother, God bless her, my mother wanted to come out. My mother has not really gotten to do anything or spend any time with us for any period of time in years. And she came out, and all that stuff, she wanted to get something for my wife for birthday and Christmas combined, and something for my daughter for birthday and Christmas combined. I told her I didn't need anything, but she got me a fucking MacBook Pro anyway. But I mean, I fully expect that we're not going to have to worry about any of these items for the next fucking at least 3 years. I can't say that about that brand new PC that's up there that I keep having problems with, and I already had to put a new graphics card in. The graphics card just fucking, the computer's like, the insides of that computer are less than 2 years old. Fucking graphics board, had to buy a whole new graphics card for that PC because it didn't fucking work. Well, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Yeah. It's just, it gets ridiculous. It gets ridiculous. No, my friend Joe bought a PC and then used the housing, rebuilt it, put a bunch of stuff in it, and then when he passed away, it was given to me. But it was not cheap parts. Like, he built that computer. He bought a cheap computer just for the housing. He bought one that he liked the look of, and then replaced most of the components, with the exception of, I think, just a couple things. I think the optical drive he left. I don't ever use it, but like hard drive, all that shit, he replaced all that stuff. So, but I mean, that's what I was saying. That was a top-end fucking graphics card that was in it, and it didn't even make it 2 years. And it's not like I leave it on all the time. I do now. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's in an area where it gets plenty of. Yeah, here's the thing. You know what I never monitored on any Mac I've ever owned? temperature or any of that fucking shit. I've never, that fucking computer and my wife sat on that table for 8 fucking years in the kitchen in a hot area where we cooked, not a fucking problem. That PC sits in a clean room that's my office that I'm the only person basically that goes in there, and it sits in an area where it gets a good bit of fucking, it gets a lot of fucking air circulation, and it fucking shit the bed. I shouldn't have, here's my point, I shouldn't have to monitor those things. And if I want to take it to the fucking Joe shit the ragman down the road to get it fixed, then by all rights, I should fucking be allowed to. And that guy, Joe shit the ragman down the road, if he wants to fix my computer, by all rights, he should be able to fucking get the stuff he needs to do it. They are hobbling an entire industry and ruining people's businesses. There are people that have businesses that are completely revolved around the fact that people don't like going to the Apple Genius Bar because they're constantly told that they have to just get a new item because it's just cheaper that way. That's why there are third-party places, because people don't necessarily want to hear that. So that would be like fucking Microtech. That would be like knife companies going out and saying, okay, you can have these knives, but you're not allowed to sharpen them, and we will make these parts. If you try to order stones for you to maintain your knives, they're going to get caught at customs because that's an unauthorized thing. That's a knock. We're the only ones that are authorized to sharpen your knives. We are the only ones allowed to have that equipment. You see how stupid that is? But that's the basic gist of what Apple's doing. Shutting your right to do it down, and companies like mine that sharpen knives, that would be the same equivalent. It's a weird analogy, but it's the same fucking thing. You can have the knife, you can use the knife, but if you need to sharpen it, there's people out there, but then we're gonna go and say, okay, Edge Pro, you can't sell these items to anyone but us. See what I'm saying? You can only sell these to Spyderco, fucking Microtech, all these companies. You can't sell these to the average consumer. You can't sell these to people that sharpen knives because that is impeding on our business, and they're wrong. They're not allowed to do that. Can you see the analogy? It's the same fucking thing. It's just a different industry. So let's go ahead and you guys tell me what you think. I'm gonna take a shower here in a little bit. I just got up, but I saw a video. Saw a video that went up this morning that Louis Rossmann put up like 6 hours ago. So I will tell you guys something. Every one of these that I've had, except for the first one that broke, every one of these has been garbage. They never work. I already talked to that. I already talked about that. I don't agree with that either. As much as I like Microtech, Jason and Jason McCoy and Anthony Marfione and those guys, I don't agree with that either. If I want to take my knife apart to oil it, it shouldn't, like for day-to-day maintenance, there's times where you do need to take a knife apart and clean it. I've taken my Ultratech apart numerous times. You guys saw me do it once. It gets gummy, it gets stuck up. There's ways to do it, but then I have to go buy gun scrubber or fucking brake cleaner, and that's not cheap. That's the only way to take you take the fucking glass breaker off and you spray that shit down through, and then right behind it, after it dries, you put a couple drops down in it like that. You can do it that way, but I already have tools. Why the fuck do I need to buy a thing of gun scrubber solvent to spray down in my gun or down in my knife? You know, gun companies don't do that. I take my fucking 1911 apart all the time. Doesn't void my warranty. As a matter of fact, that's how it's supposed to be. They give you recommended maintenance. Take this gun apart, do this, do that. The gun industry doesn't do that. They don't, oh, you took your 1911 apart. Sorry, I can't help you. What? You have to take it to an authorized cleaning facility. There's another good analogy. You don't see that in the gun industry. And I will say there's a lot of companies out there that like the second you buy it, it comes with parts. It comes with spare parts. React. React, the old Reacts used to come with spare parts. Came with extra screws. I think it came with one of every screw that was in the knife was an extra. Like you had one for the lock bar that was small. You had one for the pocket clip, which was different, and then one body screw. There was 3 screws and a lock bar insert. I just don't get it, you know? This makes no sense. It makes no sense. What do you guys think? Let's see here. Jason, you shouldn't have to send your knife back to factory for simple things. Wait 3 or 4 weeks. You know who started all this for the knife industry? Benchmade. No company really ever offered much. Buck did it for a while, but I mean, the whole thing was Buck's edge was garbage. Buck did it, and then Benchmade started their fucking Life Sharp thing. And my whole thing was, I don't like factory edges to begin with. They're too coarse. The edges break off too easy. But back in the day, factory edges used to be a good bit better. They used to hit them on like a paper wheel. I remember a lot of Benchmade used to have decent edges. I remember that. First couple Benchmades I ever bought, it was a much finer edge and it looked like it'd been hit on a paper wheel. It really did. It was much more burnished and cleaner. But they don't do that anymore. And so with the Life Sharp, just send it to us and we'll sharpen it. Send it to us and we'll sharpen it. But like the edge that you sent me to begin with was garbage. Why would I want to send it back to get another garbage edge? Guys, we gotta go. I gotta go get the mosquito coil in the kitchen. It's fucking getting chewed up out here. And Jason, I love that Benchmade. Hang on a second, talk real quiet. I love that Benchmade you gave me, but it's got fucking issues. A lot. Every Benchmade I've ever had has. Let me get this. Taking a nap. So the wife had to get up this morning at 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning to take the kids skating. She's skating in the morning all week this week because she's got nationals. She's going to nationals. The national finals for her division is in Washington State. For her, it's in Washington State from the 11th to 15th. So you guys probably won't see much from me. I might try to do some videos, but I really don't know. To tell you the truth, I haven't had a day to really rest in a while. Mom was here. That was not that I at all dislike the fact my mom was here. Mom was here, and then this will be the 2nd show in 2 weeks. So I really haven't had much like downtime since USN. USN, I think, started. Yeah, since about the start of USN. Since then, it's been real hectic. And like I said, I've been dealing with React, or not React, goddamn React. I would love to deal with React, that'd be great. Dealing with WE knife for the Stonefish and the other 2 knives I'm trying to get released. It's been hectic. So I have a crazy idea of modifying the Stonefish, calling it a lionfish or something else. I haven't decided yet. But I want you to picture this. Picture the Stonefish with a dagger blade. Same handle, but dagger blade. What do you guys think? I think that'd be sexy as fuck. I've been bouncing that around in my head for a little bit. I'm gonna sit down and commence to draw on it and figuring out what I want the dimensions to be, but I think that'd be fucking cool. Now I realize that we have come completely off topic of right to repair. So if you guys that are leaving, I apologize. If it was a right to repair thing and now you're leaving, I apologize. I basically, that's just my take on it. I just think we should all, every one of us, should reach out to legislators and say, hey, we want this. And then also make sure that that becomes part of the like that it's not just the wireless industry. I know Right to Repair is predominantly wireless industry stuff, but I definitely think that we should try to bring that around to including like everything, like everything you buy. Physical equipment, electronic equipment, whether it's a drill or if it's a fucking laptop or if it's a fucking knife from a company that is like, nope, you can't do that. I have news for you. There's not much you can fuck up on them. Well, I take that back. I've seen some pretty special things be done to knives, but you know, it's really hard to screw up a knife. But I mean, I get it. And I want to talk to Tim Reeve because I have people that argue with me about the reason behind the 31. Well, I'm not, he's put it out there. He said it. So people are like, I don't know, you'll never wear the fucking lock bar out on a fucking Sebenza and this and that and this and that. And I was like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I've seen Sebenzas come in where the lock face has been completely fucking marred and it is crushed down. But the big one is Tim, like I was talking with Tim, it's broken lock faces. It's broken lock faces because it's a hardened, it's heat hardened titanium, which makes it brittle. And he's like, he's like, I don't care what Sebenza 21 you have. He's like, if you spine whack that fucking thing, you can shear that fucking lock face off. He's like, I have fixed so many broken lock faces. He's like, that ceramic, you spine whack that motherfucker all the time. Nothing happens. And I'm like, so, Right to Repair with one caveat, if you open it. Yeah, I mean, if you do it yourself and you damage it, but like say, I talked to John Grimsmo twice this last week about, I was like, hey, I've had you subscribers, you guys know who you are. I think there's a couple, there might be one or two of you on here. Let me see who else been talking. I don't see it on here. There's been a couple of people that reached out to me about Norseman. They're like, hey, John doesn't offer a spa service and stuff. And when I talked to him, he goes, no, it's because of the whole customs issue. If he sells a knife to you here in the States, unless it's a mechanical issue and you just take it apart and send it parts, if you send a knife to him that's completely assembled, you will never see it again. Because customs is going to grab it, and they don't send it back to you. They don't send it to him. Canadian customs will grab your knife and fucking keep it. So I guarantee there's a bunch of Canadian customs guys up there with some really nice flipper knives. You won't see it again. That's a $1,300 fuck up. So I talked to John. I was like, I mean, would you be cool? I mean, I told him, I was like, I do spa treatments and refinishing and stuff. I was like, but here's the thing. So that customers aren't wasting your time, why don't you just, for all US customers, just provide my information if you want? For your US customers that buy a Norseman, and he's thinking about it. Because here's the thing, like, I guarantee that he fields those questions all the time. How do I get my knife back to you for this? How do I, and he has to go and spend the time and say, I don't offer this, I don't offer that. It's only for mechanical issues. If you break something, you can get in touch with us and then we'll talk about it. He doesn't do resharpening. He doesn't do fucking spa treatments. He doesn't do any of that stuff. So, I mean, I'm not just strictly for me to do business. It's just easier than me trying to answer all those questions if he's ahead of it and goes, hey, if you're a US-based customer, this is the guy you should probably talk to, as long as it's not something that requires physical repairs on the mill. So we are talking about that. That's one of the things we're talking about. I talked with a couple other companies while we were there about, they're like, you know, it's just a pain in the ass to like free sharpening. Mattia Barani provides my cards now. Companies don't want to sharpen your knife. And if they do sharpen your knife, likelihood is that the resharpening, like the warranty sharpening, is not going to be as good as the one that came with it, because the guy that's going to be doing it is like, hey man, we got all these warranty repair sharpenings. Hey kid, come here. You want to learn how to use a grinder? Go over to sharpen all those knives. That's, I mean, and that's, I've heard from companies like, oh no, that's 100% true. I mean, we're not getting paid to do it. We're going to pull our skilled labor off the line to do your warranty repair for free. No, it's not happening. Yeah, some kid, they're like, just, hey, post up next to that grinder and just fucking learn how to sharpen knives. Zzz, 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 zzz. So factory edges 99% of the time suck. You could just almost say they always suck, almost. I mean, there's some, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I talked to Mick Strider about this. I talked to Ed Cope about his, Mattia Baroni. 3 people at the show. There's only 3 people that I said it to. I was like, I would not think about resharpening this knife the second I got it. Mick, I told Mick specifically, I was like, bro, I'm a professional sharpener, and your knives are super sharp. This knife is probably one of the sharpest knives I handled at the show. And it came home with me. So, I mean, they do a really good job on their edges. Some people don't like Mick Strider. I don't give a fuck whether I talked to him, I didn't get into his military background stuff. I don't fucking care at this point. You know what? It's already out there. People still keep rumming. I don't fuck care. He hasn't said that in a long time. He makes a decent knife. And this thing is by far the nicest Strider I've handled in a very long time. Drop shut. You got to get your finger out of the way. It'll drop shut on you. No lock stick, no lock rock, no play, no nothing. Dead center, gorgeous. I won one of these last year pretty much. Well, Nico did, and we skirted away from it because it was not this nice. But I told Mick, and I was like, I sharpen knives, and I handed him this one, and I was like, you know, yes, but I can't guarantee there will not be some minor scratches along the origin if I have to go really coarse. On a mirror blade, I usually skirt away from the stones that, like the 80 grit diamond, has tendency to come unbound a little bit, and then you get some abhorrent scratches along the bevel. But I'm getting ready to do one for Rick Clow. But at any rate, so I told Mick, I was like, dude, I'm a professional sharpener. I was like, your knives, I told him the second day, I was like, your knives are always sharp. I was like, no, I mean, and he was like, I was like, this is, and I handed him this one, and he goes, I was like, he's like, he said, well, he was like, have you got one of your knives you sharpen? I was like, yeah, here, I hand him this one. He goes, that's fucking sharp. And he was telling the guys, he's like, motherfucker, guys, this is motherfucking crazy. And I was like, it's called Crazy Sharp. And he goes, yeah, it's a good call. And he's like, fuck. He's like, that is sharp. And so he was handing it around to the guys, and I was like, he's like, if you're saying that my knives are sharp, he's like, I'll take that as a fucking compliment. He's like, you fucking did that? I was like, yeah, I did it freehand on stones. He was like, that's insane. And he was like, fuck, that is so sharp. So there's companies that get it right. There are. Barani Cutlery, their edges are always good. The React comes with a good keen edge. Comes with a good keen edge. The thing is, those edges aren't going to last because they're a factory edge. So I just wish this had an actual birth card instead of just a thing that they wrote on it for me at the show. But yeah, it gets really irritating with this warranty stuff. And like I said, as much as I like Microtech and the guys there, I don't agree with their proprietary shit. Like Jason Coy told me, there's like, look, if it's a knife that a customer told me, Anthony said the same thing after seeing my edges. Like, if it was a knife that a customer said you had sharpened, it's like, it wouldn't void your warranty for that sharpening. He's like, it's the guys that send stuff, and I get why. I will explain why. It's the guys that take their shit apart, completely fuck it up, and then send it in a box. And they're like, oh, no. That's why they have the proprietary screws. There are some people that just should not be allowed to handle anything mechanical. It's true, but that's the right to repair is every owner's right. That's like trying to tell me I can't, well, you can't do it anymore either. These cars, I can't take that car and work on it. I could probably change the oil. But why when it's just gonna be a pain in my ass? It'd just be better for me to just take it somewhere and have somebody else do it. So, well guys, I'm gonna take like 2 more minutes. I'll just tell you tonight, Nico's gonna be down tonight for a little bit tonight, and he's gonna crash on my couch, and we are going to take off for Portland tomorrow. So if you guys are going to Blade Show West, I will be there. Nico will be there. Pardon me. As far as I know, Chris and Elliot Williamson will be there with us. We're all staying in the same building. My friend Ashton, another knife guy, his channel, I believe he's coming. I'm gonna talk to him today and find out for sure if he's coming. But it's gonna be fun. Pardon me. Expect more than one video from that. I am taking my laptop so I can do editing in the evenings if it doesn't get too boozy. If it doesn't get too boozy, there's a good chance that I will try to put up a video from every day of the show. So, guys, oh man, I'm getting sick too, I'm afraid. That's... I ugly sneeze. I know, you guys don't have to tell me. I sneeze ugly. It's cool. It's cool. I'm back as country boy. I sneeze that way. So yeah, it's been an hour, guys. I'm gonna start packing my stuff. There may be a video later. Pardon. Might be a video later today. I don't know. Miko and I might do a post. Fuck me. I think there's something in the air. This is allergies. Can I send you money to buy something at the show and then sharpen it? I don't think I'm gonna have time to get the cash out. I'm not gonna have time to do it tomorrow. And I don't have enough cash left over from the show because I haven't sold this yet. Plus that money's gotta go into the bank soon. That's why I'm trying to sell this. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to even I can ask Nico if he can float me to cash, but it just depends. Tell you what, after this, catch me after this and we'll, catch me outside. Give me a call a little bit later and we'll see if we can get it figured. Jesus, get it figured out. I'm gonna have to take an allergy medicine. My eyes are itching. Could be that mosquito coil I just lit. Jesus, guys, I gotta get off of here before I start sneezing so much I can't even talk. Jason, get a hold of me after this. I will talk to you guys later. Fuck. Right to repair. Talk to your legislator. Send a letter to your congressman. Say you want right to repair legislation to push through. And I will talk to you guys later. If you like them, give them a thumbs up. You don't like them, give them a thumbs down. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.